Today, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the books I'm going to read in August. Um, I know that I'm going to publish this video um, a bit early, to be honest, but I'm going on vacations, so and I'm already decided what I'm going to read. To be honest, I already decided what I'm going to read in October. Not September, but October. Yes, one of the things I want to one of the things I decided to do more on this month of August and September is going to read more Warhammer 40k novels. Sorry, more Warhammer stuff, not focusing on Warhammer 40k fantasy and so on. And also I want to finish a couple of series I have ongoing in the next few months. Because one of the things I noticed is that I start a series and sometimes I don't know, other things happens, and so I want to finish those books before. Um, so the two series I'm going to continue. Well, three series I'm going to continue. I don't know, three, four series. Let me just show you. So the first book I'm going to read. This is not in order of when I'm going to read. Just the books I'm going to read. The first one is going to be R.L. Salvatore, The Road of the Patriarch, which is the third book in the Self Swords series. This is the ongoing series I'm currently reading. This is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 books on the series, so this is the last book on this series, and let's continue next year for the remaining books. Second book, which I started last year, and I did enjoy reading the first book, which follows a TV show from Apple, but I already knew this series from a long time ago. Is going to be the Hugh Howey, the second book in the Silo trilogy. Is going to be Shift. This is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic scenario where Earth was destroyed, and people live in silos. Imagine like vaults from Fallout, something like that, but with more people. So this is going to be my second read: one sci-fi, one fantasy. The third one I'm going to continue is to be Murder on the Lamplight Express. This is by Morgan Stang. I read the first one in August last year when I was in vacations, and I may take this with me in July. But I already chose another book, so I don't know. But I am going to read in August. So the second book, it follows the Lamplight Express. Sorry, not Lamplight Express. It follows the main character um, on the Lamplight murder mystery. And I really enjoyed the first book. It was one of my favorite books last year. So yeah, let's go. This is very fast paced, by the way. This is more slow pace, so they balance. The fourth novel I'm going to continue is going to be Ryan C. Thomas, Born to Bleed. This is an horror novel. I read the first one a couple of months ago, um, and this one I really was impressed by the second book on the Roger Huntington saga. So I'm really eagerly waiting where this story is going, because the first one was, well, very violent, which I enjoyed. Then, in terms of another follow-up series, not it's not it's not completely follow-up, but it's a series about the X Files. It's called Ruins by Kevin J. Anderson. This is the third novel I'm going to read. I read already two, Goblin and I believe it was Ground Zero. Now it's going to be Ruins. I've been wanting to continue no, rewatch X Files, so this is another thing for me to do. The next few months is going to. I'm currently rewatching Stargate Atlantis. So this is another one series that really want to go because they are some of the best series I've watched. Next, it's going to be my first Philip Fracassi novel. Don't Let Them Get You Down. This is a short novel. People will call it novella, but it's not a novella because it's over 100 pages. So it's 178 pages. This is a novella novel. I've heard that it's very deeply dark, depressing novel. So let's see how I will enjoy this novel. Let me just show you. The other ones I didn't tell you the synopsis because they are not. They are the second book or third book in the series. This one, Don't Let Them You Down, is a deeply dark novel about depression and the madness inside each one of us. When Peter Radcliffe loses his wife, it will take more than pills and therapy to help him find his way back to a world where normality reigns and the desperate are left alone to fend for themselves, to reacclimate in the savage world, or perish trying. Eagerly waiting for this one. Now, books from Warhammer stuff. First one is going to be my first book in the Peter Feyervari series. He has like three or four novels, but they are all individual, but they are all connected in some great story called The Dark Coil, and that is the first book I'm going to read, The Cult of the Spiral Dawn, which is very interesting. It is a novel plus a novella. And the novella is called, or short story, not novella. Yeah, short story. It's a Cast and English Shallow. So this is going to be my first Warhammer stuff. My second Warhammer stuff is probably one of the best received books in the last few years from Black Library, which is this one, Assassinorum Kingmaker by Robert Rath. It's a beefy one. Usually the books from Warhammer has like 460 pages. There are some exceptions, but they are usually like that. This one has 450. I believe the hardcover is very beefy. I had and I sold it. Um, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to choose two more, 10 books, which makes sense. And one is going to be Darkness by John Saul. This is an hardcover edition of the book that I have. I've been reading a couple of John Saul books. Well, I've read one. Um, and I enjoyed the book. It's one nothing major, but I loved the 80s kind of horror stuff. So yeah, this is my foray into this in this second book by him. So yeah, and now for the last book I'm going to read, I'm yet um, undecided from two novels. The first one is going to be Alec Exon, Crimson Queen. This is the first book in the series, Raveling series. This is very big, beefy. So for me, it's going to be a challenge because series of fantasy the last few years has been very hard to need to get into them, but who knows? Alec Hudson, it's a novelist that writes fantasies, and I've read one of his books previously, and I really enjoyed it. And the best of all is that he's self-published, which is very interesting, and really like to support. And I have all of his books. I read one, and which is Zog. I read this year, and I really enjoyed. So this is the second book I'm going to read, or this one, or this one here, Starsight by Brandon Sanderson's. This is the sequel from Skyward, which I read last year, really enjoyed, but never really got into reading the second one. Um, I thought that book was okay. I don't think I needed a follow up, but yeah, I've got here the page with information about the last characters and so on. So I usually do that. So yeah, so this is all for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with John Saul plus one of these is going to be my sandbooks that I'm going to read. In September, we'll change it up. Some sci-fi, some horror, some thriller, something like that. Sometimes things change. This is not a book set in stone. Sometimes for example, I just finished a book, a thriller, which I didn't expect to read this month, but I wanted something fast-paced and some kind of thriller with slow number of pages, so I read it. So yeah, sometimes things change, but from now I'm confident of these books. So yeah, from me, this is it. Thank you all and have a great day.